Hey, what's up, guys? Coach Mac, Play Fast Football. Hopefully everybody on the East Coast of Florida stayed safe during the hurricane, and I want everybody to stay safe up in Georgia, Carolinas, anywhere else that thing may go. It puts a damper on a lot of things in life when you are unexpectedly worried about wind and rain and flooding. And luckily, we dodged a bullet in Florida, made our football life a little bit crazier, but that's the easiest of all things to adjust to. So hopefully everybody out there that is watching, and all the subscribers and all the Play Fast followers, hopefully you all stay safe and aren't affected dramatically by Hurricane Dorian. All right, remember to check out some of our sponsors, MAXOne app, which is an app that allows you as a head coach to streamline organization, communication, workouts all into one platform, so that makes it easier for you. You can have your workouts for your players on there. You can have your schedules, practice schedules, camp schedules, game schedules. Anytime there's a change in a schedule or a weather issue like we had with Dorian, you might be able to send messages out to your team with what's going on, how it's going on. So MAXOne is something that can really help make your life easier as a head football coach. Difference USA, which is the ultimate striking machine. Work on striking and hand placement. We have one in the weight room. You can put them in your weight room attached to your squat racks. You can put them out on the field, attach them to sleds, attach them to 2x4s you sink and cement into the ground. With a universal attachment, you can get thousands of reps working on striking and hand placement without needing a partner. You don't need a bag. You don't need a med ball. You don't need anybody with you to get the work done. All right, Just Play Football is the digital software that I use. It's the play drawing app that I use anytime I do a webinar, anytime I speak at a clinic. That is going to be the play drawing tool that I use to diagram my play. So make sure you check out Just Play Football. Defensive Coordinator 1, which is an app that allows you to make critical in-game adjustments based on live in-game data. You have somebody up in the booth that is charting the game, exactly what's being run, personnel formations, runs, passes, field boundary, strong, weak, all the things that are actually being run, and then you're charting your calls that you're making of those and finding out what works and what doesn't. You've already got your scout templates built in, to the app, so you already have things built into the app that you are expecting your opponent to do, so it makes it easy to plug and play with those things. So Defensive Coordinator 1 can help you make those valuable in-game adjustments based on the things that are actually going on in the game, not things that you think you're seeing or things that you're kind of guessing, things that are actually going on, and you can coordinate the calls you're making with the calls they're making, see what's good, see what's not good, and then hopefully make those valuable in-game adjustments that help you win a ball game instead of getting stuck and watching film afterwards and going, why didn't I do this or why didn't I do that? All right, GameStrat is a sideline replay system we use. If you look in the description box below the video, in the YouTube description box, there will be a link that takes you straight to the GameStrat website. If you're looking for a sideline replay system that's highly reliable, highly affordable, great customer service, check these guys out. They do a great job taking care of people. They're doing some really good things in the game, and I think you'll be happy with the results from GameStrat. And then Dome Hats, which is a major sponsor of Play Fast Football and one of the major sponsors at our Play Fast Football Clinic in January. This is one of our Play Fast Football hats here. All right, so this is actually one that we did for the school. So it's got our Orange Park logo on the front, swords up on the back, great color combinations. They got a great online hat builder where you can design your hats. All right, so they're a company founded by 2 former Florida football players. They understand what coaches go through. They want to get into every state, every sport, every staff. All right, great little motto of theirs. Every hat has a story. What story will yours tell? All right, so every time you're checking out, trying to get a hat, whether it be for a fundraiser, a hat for your staff, a hat for your business, whatever you might be doing, all right, if you're looking at hats, make sure you check out Dome Hats. They're great people, great support, all right, and they understand our business and want to take care of you. I thought I'd do a little video today on special teams play and what I try to do with my guys here at the high school that I'm at, all right, and ways that I try to make special teams fun. Special teams is going to be about, it's 1/3 of the game. There's 3 phases of football: offense, defense, special teams. I think special teams sometimes can be overlooked as a phase of the game. All right, when you actually map it out and you take the number of kicks that are going to occur in a game, whether they be kickoffs, kick returns, punts, punt returns, field goals, field goal blocks, the amount of kick snaps is always going to be up there, and it's going to be, fairly equivalent to the amount of snaps that you play on offense or defense, depending on the type of game it is. All right, so special teams is very important. What makes special teams difficult sometimes in high school? Couple things. All right, kids don't really understand special teams play at the lower levels. There's not an emphasis on special teams play, so they don't understand, not only the X's and O's behind it, but the techniques behind it, the techniques behind covering kicks and avoiding blocks and where to avoid and when to button press and just different things in the kick game, field goal protection, snaps, kicks, holds, making the corner, as wide as you can and taking away interior pressure and covering punts and what balls are live, what balls are dead, what balls do we have to fall on, what balls do we have to pick up, what happens with a blocked field goal, when can it be picked up and advance, when is it dead, kickoffs, how are they live, how are they dead, when can they be, when do you have to fall on them, when do you not have to fall on them, all those things that you take for granted that a lot of times kids don't really understand until you teach them. All right, so that's one of the things that makes it tough. The body types of the players you have make it tough, all right? In the NFL, there's a lot of guys who make money and a career out of playing special teams because they may not be able to start at their position, but they are physical enough and fast enough to run down the field, cover, block, get off of blocks, tackle people. When you turn on college games, it's nothing to turn on a big-time college football program and watch, starting running backs, starting receivers, starting safeties and linebackers covering punts, covering kicks, because it's an important part of the game. So the body types that we have in high school make it a little more difficult to play special teams. We don't have as many of those big, athletic, physical body types that are fast enough to run down the field, but athletic enough, to avoid people while at the same time big enough to take blocks on. We may have receivers and DBs that are fast enough to run down the field, but they won't be able to get off of certain blocks, or they won't be able to defeat certain blocks of bigger, stronger players. We may have guys that are fast enough to cover punts, but they can't protect when a D lineman or a linebacker runs through the A or the B gap. So the body types of the types of kids that we have in high school, I think, makes special teams a little bit more difficult. And then the kickers that we have in high school at any given high school. All right, when you look at kicking in college and the NFL, they are recruiting punters, they are recruiting kickers and field goal kickers and long snappers, and we are taking our team and we are finding the best available guys to play those positions. So we're finding the best available long snapper, the best available kicker, the best available punter. And a lot of times we don't have the luxury to do a lot of the things that that colleges and NFL teams can do in the special teams game, because we don't have the kickers, the punters, or the long snappers to do it. All right, so I think those three things, the overall IQ and understanding of special teams, the body types you have playing special teams, and then the people you have kicking, snapping, doing those things, I think they make special teams a little bit more difficult in high school than at the next level. But again, it's 1/3 of the game. It's one of the three phases that you have to try and win every week. So you got to try and find a way to get it done. So what I like to do as a head coach, all right, and I'm very involved in special teams. I give some of my coaches, I give a special team to, especially on the JV level. On the varsity level, I give them a special team, and then I kind of intervene when I think we need to intervene with certain things and how we need to do things based on our schemes, our body types. But I would love our coaches to be more involved in a special teams game, and I'm trying to get our guys every year to get more involved in a special teams game, because it can be a lot of fun and it can really swing the tide of a game when things might be even or balanced, or it might be able to keep you in a game maybe when things are a little bit lopsided. So one of the toughest things in high school is finding time during practice to do special teams, all right? And then when you're doing the special teams, not letting it fall off to a period where your kids no longer are paying attention to what's going on, or the kids that aren't involved in special teams kind of drift away and you got to get them back when you go back to offense or defense. So I think one of the things you got to try and do is you got to make special teams fun. You've got to find a way to make special teams fun, make it fun for your kids, make the schemes fun. They've got to be effective. I'm not saying that you just do whatever you want and you take all kind of risks and chances. What I'm saying is you've got to make what you're doing fun so the kids want to be involved in what you are doing. All right, so how are the different ways that we try to make special teams fun? All right, for us on kickoff, we don't have a kicker that can kick the ball constantly in the end zone on touchbacks. Kickoff coverage is going to be very important. It's going to be more important than college and NFL teams, because most of their kickoffs will be, all right, into the end zone. And now with the rules, a lot of times teams are choosing to fair catch or take a knee because the ball comes out to the 25. We don't have the luxury of kicking touchbacks all the time, so kickoff coverage for us is something that's always going to be extremely important. One of the ways you can make it fun for not only the coverage team, but for the kicker. All right, if you don't have a kicker that can kick touchbacks all the time, one of the ways you can make it fun for your guys is change up your kicks, all right? Shorter pooch kicks, higher, shorter sky kicks, squib kicks, deep kicks, onside kicks. What that does is it keeps your kids involved and invested every week to understand, hey, Coach, what are you going to do this week? We're going to squib, we're going to sky, we're going to pooch. Are we going to work any onsides? Do we have any new onsides? Are we going to try and kick the ball deep? It keeps your kids invested in the scheme that's going on. It's kind of like, in a way, for me, changing the launch point of your quarterback in the pocket. All right, so you don't want your quarterback, especially if you can't protect him or if he's not a 6'5" kid. If you don't want him in the pocket, you got to change the launch points. You got to throw the ball quick. You got to drop back. You got to bootleg. You got to waggle. You got to do some different things to get him to launch the ball from different spots so you can keep him protected. Same thing with kickoff coach. We're trying to put the ball into different spots with different heights and trajectories so that we affect the return scheme. All right, so we're trying to pooch balls short over the front line and catch people kind of off guard a little bit with how they're defending those. If we can do that and make them defend those, then we think we're going to affect the return scheme. Then we try to sky balls a little bit higher and deeper to the 20 or the 15 if possible, with as much height as possible so that we can go down and cover those sky kicks. Then we like to squib the ball, all right, down the middle of the field as ugly and as hard as possible to get that thing kind of bouncing around, rolling around so we can affect the return. We do like to kick the ball deep, even if we can only get it to the 10 or the 5, just because we feel like it affects the other team's return schemes if they're seeing all these different returns. All right, and then we have onsides that we work on week to week, special onsides or certain onsides if we like them based how another team is aligned or what players they have on the front line. All right, so all those things I think kind of help make kickoff a little bit interesting, keep it fun. You got to teach guys certain things on kickoff that are always going to be a constant. When you're running down, you're trying to avoid that first line, try and avoid butt side, understand that where that blocker turns is where he wants you to go. Don't run where he wants you to go. As you start getting past that first level, you get to the second level, see where the returners are setting up. A lot of times on the second level, you will see walls set up or you'll see guys moving. We have too many kids on our kickoff unit that when they run down the field, they run straight and blind. So even if they avoid butt side on the first level, as the second level is forming a wedge in the middle, we still run outside. Or if the second level is forming a wall to one side, we run straight down the field. All right, teaching kids how to avoid the front line, how to avoid butt side, how to see what the second line and third level is doing so you can see where the returns are so you can change your angle to take to the ball. Keeping the ball on your inside shoulder pad, and then understanding as you get within 8 to 10 yards of the ball, now you might have to button press, hat and hand somebody, take a block on, separate, and make a play. So there's a lot of things involved in kickoff coverage, and I think you have to teach those things regardless of what you're going to do on kickoff. Unless you onside every time, whether you squib, pooch, sky, kick deep, doesn't matter what you do, all right? I think you have to teach the fundamentals of kickoff coverage, how to avoid butt side, when to button press, how to see returns, where returns are set up, how to take appropriate angles to the ball, how to have guys that are 21 players, which means they keep 21 players, 10 on your team, 11 on the other team inside of them, how to keep the ball on an inside shoulder pad, how to have safety set up, what your kicker is going to do to prevent long returns. So those are all things you're constantly going to have to work on. But I think if you change the kicks up with sky and pooch and squib and onsides, I think you can make it fun for your kids and keep it interesting every week when you go to kickoff coverage. All right, with your punt team, shield punt, rugby punt, fakes. Okay, so if you're a team that likes to use shield punt in high school because of the rules, because our guys can release quicker down the field and they don't have to wait until the ball's kicked to get down the field. If you're a team that uses shield protection because you think it's an easier time investment than it is to block a pro-style spread punt, all right, regardless of what it is, all right, if you start with shield punts and then you can figure out a way to rugby right or left and move the launch point for your punters, and then you figure out a way to build some fakes into your shields and your rugby punts, that makes it interesting for your players each week. Each week they come in with a game plan. They need to understand, all right, coach, what are we doing? You want guys to come in. They're always going to come in and say, hey, coach, what's the offensive game plan? We're going to throw it. We're going to run it. We got any new gadget plays? Hey, coach, what's the defensive game plan? What coverages are we going to play? What fronts are we going to play? What blitzes are we going to use? You want guys coming in and saying, hey, coach, what are we doing on punt this week? We're going to shield punt. We're going to punt from the shield. We're going to rugby. You got any new fakes drawn up? That's when you have vested interest in your special teams, and that's when you know you're making it fun. Okay, so if you're a shield punt team, also try and be a rugby punt team. See if you can get a right-footed or left-footed punter. All right, that can rugby both ways. A couple weeks ago, I did a video on having two punters back there, one that can rugby right, one that can rugby left. If you can accomplish that, I think you can slow down a lot of punt rushes because they don't know which way you're going to rugby. If you can align similar and then get guys to each side to protect, they don't know which way the rugby's going to occur. All right, so you'll get less punt rush. All right, and then you can make things more interesting in the fake game when teams have to defend 2 punters back there, and now they got to, it makes things a little bit different than a traditional 1 punter look. All right, so if you had 2 punters and you could rugby right or left, that's a way to make special teams fun. Okay, so keep your punt game interesting for your kids. Keep your kids involved. Get them to understand when they come in each week, we're going to have something a little bit different going on punt, and hopefully have those kids either A, asking to be on the punt team, or B, coming in each week and saying, hey, coach, what are we doing punt this week? We got rugby, we got shield, we got any new fakes drawn up. That's when you know you have vested interest and kids are having fun. All right, and then we always have some type of muddle huddle deals drawn up on extra points. All right, so muddle huddle deals for us, it's a way to steal points. If you can get an extra point, if you can get 2 instead of 1, if the other team can't line up. It's a way to make teams spend more time preparing for what you do. All right, even if you don't use any of the muddle huddle plays and you shift and kick extra points, if the other team has to defend each week how you line up for muddle, try and take some time away from how they are working on defending your base offense. Put something else in there on film that your opponent needs to work on. All right, and make it fun for your kids. Get more kids involved. Last week we did a muddle huddle deal, and my 10th grade quarterback was the one taking the snaps, and he was 2 for 3 on our muddle huddle plays. He threw two-point conversions to people. That's a way to get a 10th grader, a quarterback in the game that I can't get in the game in a regular basis right now. All right, so we lined him up in the muddle huddle deal, and we had 3 plays called, and we ran all 3 of them last week, and he executed 2 of them for 2-point conversions. So that's a way to get younger kids involved. Get some other athletes involved. Maybe you have a backup tailback that doesn't get enough reps, or a wide receiver that doesn't get enough reps, but you can put them in a muddle huddle group, and maybe you can run a jet sweep to him, or based on how you lined up, maybe you can run a zone read play to him that you can't, get to him. He can't crack the lineup. He's not getting enough snaps in your base offense, but maybe you can find a way to get him on muddle huddle each week and keep the kid invested. So it's a way to keep kids invested in the program. It's a way to keep kids on their toes when you're doing special teams. It's a way to keep kids mentally involved in the special teams game plan, because it changes all the time and they know it's going to be fun. They look forward each week to come in and say, Coach, what are we doing about huddle this week? All right, what are we doing, all right, on kickoff? What are we doing on punt? Keep kids invested in special teams because it's an important part of the game. Make it fun for kids, and I think you'll get better results. Keep opponents on their toes by doing different things in the kicking game, and make your opponent, all right, spend time studying your film to defend you on special teams. All right, they're going to spend time defending your offense, defending your, working against your defense and exploiting your defense, and they're going to work on all those things. Make the whole staff or whoever's in charge of special teams, make them spend a lot of time working on special teams, because it's less time they will be able to spend, all right, talking about offense and defense if you can take some time away from that. All right, so make special teams fun for your kids. Keep it interesting. Make your opponent work to defend you, all right, and be different every week. Be solid, be sound, all right. Don't just throw caution to the wind on special teams. We never do anything without trying to be 100% solid and sound, because I think special teams is too important not to be, all right. But change things up, keep it fun, keep your kids involved. See if you can get other kids involved that maybe aren't involved in your base offense, base defense, and keep your opponent on their toes. All right, remember to click that subscribe button, that like button, all right, that notification button, so that you know every time we put a video out. Comment in the videos below, positive or negative. I respond to just about every comment I get, all right, whether they're positive or negative. These videos are my opinion. You have your opinion, so, all right, feel free to comment, all right. It's what YouTube's all about. It's what videos are all about, so you can put your comments out there. I don't take offense to anything. If you don't like something or you want to comment about it, go ahead, feel free to. As always, I appreciate you watching. All right, remember that the Play Fast Clinic, the first ever Play Fast Clinic, January 24th, 25th, 26th, St. Augustine, Florida, Embassy Suites, right on the ocean, all right? And then January 24th, 25th, 26th of 2020, this upcoming year, go to www.playfastfbclinic.com. That's www.playfastfbclinic.com for registration info, vendor info, hotel info. All right, we have a staff pass for 6 coaches or more, and now a staff pass for 10 coaches or more. So we think we have all bases covered. We released 5 great speakers. I think it's going to be a great time. I'm really looking forward to it, and looking forward to what we can do to grow, all right, this relationship and this partnership we have with everybody out there to make it better in the future. All right, guys, I appreciate you. Stay safe. Good luck this week if you're playing. Remember, you won't play well till you play fast. I'll catch you guys next time.